Hi everyone, I'm Sharon Smith, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can pull a column of data into your report from another spreadsheet. I'm going to show you how to do this using VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP so you can see the difference between these two functions. You can pull any column of data, so it can be an employee name, an inventory number, a sales price, and in this example what we're going to do is pull in the manager's name from another spreadsheet into our employee listing. Let's take a look. All right, here we have an employee report, and I'm just going to insert a column here because I want to pull in the manager's name for this employee list. So I'm just going to create a column called manager name, and I'm going to make it a different color so we can see that this is the column where we're going to insert our VLOOKUP function. And then our other spreadsheet is over here. This is another spreadsheet that also has an employee ID number, and it has the manager's name for each of these employees. So this is the manager name that we want to pull into the other spreadsheet. Now to use VLOOKUP, notice that I have my employee ID number here in column A on this report, and I also have the employee ID number over here in column A. So that's how VLOOKUP will work. It can only look up values to the right. So we want to have our lookup value in the first column in each spreadsheet. So I'm going to place my cursor over here. I'm going to select the cell where I want to insert the VLOOKUP function. And I can do a couple of things. If I type equals and start typing VLOOKUP, I can double click and open up the VLOOKUP. And this is the syntax of the VLOOKUP formulas. If you're familiar with that, then you can go from there. If you're not as familiar and you want to look up the function arguments table for VLOOKUP, you can do a couple of things. You can either come up to the formulas tab in Excel and look up under the lookup and reference drop down, and that's where you'll find VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP. And so you could select from there and it will bring up the function arguments table. I'm going to close out of there and show you one more way that you can easily and quickly get there is if you select the cell and just come up here to the insert function button. It'll also open up a search window where you could type VLOOKUP, hit go, and select VLOOKUP and click OK. And this will also bring up your functional arguments. So what we want to do is we want to look up the value in A2. We want to look up the employee ID number. So we select that cell. The table array is going to be the area where we want VLOOKUP to look for this value. So that's going to be in the other spreadsheet. So we're going to go and navigate to the other spreadsheet and pull that up. And then we're going to select the top row and hit Control-Shift down to select the entire table. And this is where we're going to look for the employee ID number. That's the table array. Now the column index number is the number of columns over of the value that we want to return. And we want to return this value over here, the manager's name. So if we count the number of columns over, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our column index number for the VLOOKUP is going to be 5. So we put that there. And one thing we have to do for VLOOKUP to return the exact value is we have to put the range lookup as false. And now I can click OK. So that's going to bring in the manager's name, and then all I have to do is double click to copy that formula down, and it will bring in the manager name for all of these employees listed on our spreadsheet. So that is VLOOKUP. So let's take a look at how we would do this using XLOOKUP. So I have a similar sheet over here, but notice the employee ID number is not in column A, and with XLOOKUP that's okay. We don't have to have it in the first column there. So what we want to do is insert a column, and we're going to pull in the manager's name, and we'll color this a little bit different so we can keep an eye on it. All right, we're going to place our cursor where we want to insert the XLOOKUP. We can come up to our insert function. Since I've recently used XLOOKUP, it shows up under this function list here, so I can just select that and click OK. Now with XLOOKUP, it's asking me the lookup value. So again, we want to look up employee ID. So in this case, we'll select the cell where we have employee ID number. The lookup array, now this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to go over to our other spreadsheet. And in this scenario, what we want to do for XLOOKUP is we are going to select the entire column of employee ID number. That's the array that we want to look in for that value. And then what do we want to return? Well, we want to return that manager's name. So let's go ahead and navigate back over and select the column that has the manager's name. Now we don't have to put any other functional arguments because by default XLOOKUP will return the exact value. So we just click OK. And this will also pull in that manager's name. So the nice thing about XLOOKUP is it's a little bit more powerful of a function than VLOOKUP. You don't have to have that first column over there at the beginning because it can look in any direction for that value. And you also don't have to put the functional arguments for an exact match. It'll do it by default. So which function should you use? Either one works great in these examples, but try XLOOKUP next time you use these functions. It's a newer, more flexible option that you can get used to using. If you found this video helpful, be sure and give it a thumbs up to like it and share it with your friends. You can subscribe to my channel and click the bell to receive a notification every time I post a new video. Be sure and visit my website, SharonSmithHR.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.